This is Into the Fire. I'd like to welcome to Into the Fire the Richmond staff, the All-Australian Shane Titch Edwards.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. So Shane, this is something that many people might not know. You played as a junior for the North Adelaide Rockets in basketball. I hear you were pretty good.
Yeah, I did play. I played a lot of basketball growing up. I actually liked basketball more than football till I was probably about 15 or 16, and I took it really serious. But yeah, I had to quit when I had to make a decision because football was on Friday nights and basketball was on Friday nights. So I picked football, and I'm actually really glad I played a lot of basketball growing up because it helped my football a lot.
Yeah, that would have been cool. You also played for the Golden Grove Kookaburras in footy. I played for Teacher Gully. Golden Grove are our rivals.
Yeah, I played against Teacher Gully a lot growing up. They were always pretty good. I don't think we ever lost to them though. We had a really good team. But yeah, Teacher Gully, they were a really proud club. My dad actually coached Teacher Gully a long time ago, in the 90s. So yeah, there's a bit of history.
It's a long time ago. You then went on to play for North in the footy at a very young age. My sources tell me you were, and pardon the pun, a very good-looking rooster.
I don't know who your sources are about the looks department, but yeah, I played for North Adelaide when I turned 13 in the development squad, and yeah, I met a lot of really close mates and played with a lot of guys from Teacher Gully and Walkerville and Paynham and all those guys, and I was pretty starstruck with some of the juniors I played against, and it's kind of funny how it all ends up that, you know, only a couple of guys that I played with growing up ended up playing SANFL or playing AFL, when at the time I thought they were going to be superstars.
I know. 2006 was a big year for you. You made your senior debut for the North Adelaide Roosters and played 10 games, was a member of the Under-19 Premiership, represented SA in the Under-18 Championship, and went to the AFL Combine. Did you get time to go to school?
My grades show that I probably didn't have enough time to do anything at school, which was true. I actually got a girlfriend later that year, my first girlfriend ever, so I really didn't have any time to do anything at school. My grades reflect that, unfortunately, but it's a busy year, and it's really underrated how hard it is for guys going through the draft, and when they're 18 years old. Football's a really big commitment. Year 12 isn't the biggest commitment, and getting that balance right is something really hard, and not a lot of kids are able to do it really well, but there are some at our club that found the balance well, and now they've got a really good enter score, and they got drafted, so it's possible.
It would be pretty hard. You killed the draft combine. You were fast, had great endurance and lots of jumping ability. Did you think you were going to Richmond leading into the draft?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so the draft combine I think helped me a lot because I probably wasn't going to get drafted as high as I did. I ended up going pick 26. But yeah, I was lucky enough that I won the vertical jump, but it was in a year where there weren't many guys jumping very high, so I was really lucky then. And the beat test and the 3K were other things I was really good at, and going into the draft camp, there's some things I really wanted to do well in, and I'm glad I did. But yeah, you never know where you're going to get drafted. I didn't meet with Richmond until the draft, when I'd already met with almost every other club. So I think they might have seen the scores and got really happy with me and drafted me off that. So we'll never know. They'll never admit that. But yeah, I'm really happy with our draft camp, mate.
Yeah, I would be too. By the way, my dad still gets grumpy that Adelaide took James Seller in front of you. I don't know who he is, so that's probably backing up this point.
Well, I think my parents were pretty upset that James Seller got taken to the Crows. I actually had an interview with the Crows the day before the draft, and met all their guys, and they pretty much told me that I would be going with Adelaide unless someone didn't get drafted there, so it ended up being James Seller. And I knew him growing up. He played at Glenelg, he was a gun, so I can see why they took him, but it's funny how it works out. Maybe if he came to Richmond, he might have ended up, you know, winning a premiership and things, so you never know how it works out, and at the time he was a really good player.
We know you were drafted by the Tigers in 2006 at pick 26. How was the feeling of being drafted by the team with the best song in the AFL?
Well, so growing up, I knew a lot about AFL. I loved everything about it, and Richmond were probably the team I cared the least about. So when the time came and I got drafted by Richmond, I was just over the moon just to be drafted, and I never really even thought about who drafted me. I was like, oh my god, I got drafted, and yeah, the day of the draft, they called me up and I had to fly to Richmond, and then I met everyone at the club here, and then they flew me back to Adelaide, then had 2 days, then I had to fly back again, and I was there for good. So I had to say see to everyone and all my best mates growing up in 2 days, and that's a recipe for how kids get homesick. So it was hard.
Yeah, that'd be pretty hard. You had a bit of a struggle in your first few years under Terry Wallace, but when he, let's just say, was asked to seek new employment, in came Jade Rawlings and Titch was released. Do you still send Jade Christmas cards?
Well, see, I see it a bit differently than that. Terry Wallace, he was the one that drafted me, and he gave me lots of opportunity early in my career when I probably wasn't ready. I was still able to play 15 games in my first 3 years each year, so if I had got drafted to the Crows, I probably wouldn't have even got a game. So I got a lot of experience, but it wasn't until Jade Rawlings came in that he actually allowed me to just play how I wanted to play rather than being worried about what the coach thinks. And that's what's really good with Dimmer right now. He just says, go play and have fun, and that's why we play a bit better.
That would be good. I read a funny thing about you. It said, and I'm wondering if it's true, that Damien Hardwick in 2010 assured you that you would play all 22 games. You're the best negotiator I've ever seen. You should be a player agent, not a recruiter when you finish footy.
Well, yeah. I think he told me that when he first came in, just so he knew that I wouldn't worry about getting dropped. Because when I play my best football, is when I'm really confident and I play with a bit of risk. And when he told me that, I knew that I could go out and make mistakes and things, and it would be okay. I wouldn't get dropped. So that's what helped me. And I know that he probably wouldn't say it to everyone, but at the time we weren't very good, so he could give me games even though I'd screw up every now and then. And I think I'm better for it, and I definitely wouldn't be the player I am today if it wasn't for Dimmer saying that to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to be a player agent, that's for sure. It's a tough gig, looking after a bunch of players like that.
Yeah, it must be. You have been called an elite midfielder / forward. This is without a doubt true, but what is your favourite position?
I think first of all I have to be grateful that I'm even out there to begin with. So I'm happy with any position, but if I had to pick my favourite position, it's definitely in the midfield. Just full-time midfielder, nowhere else. You get the most kicks, you get the most opportunity to get the ball. The ball's already there when you start the game. You don't have to go and find the ball. You don't have any defenders on you, so you can kind of do whatever you want. And I know when in the game, in games out there on the G, when I get put in the midfield, I think yes, I get really excited. This is my time to get the ball. So that's probably my favourite.
Yeah, it's my favourite too. You received the Iokin medal for the best on ground in the dream time at the G game. Being a proud Indigenous person, you must have been proud to be the first Indigenous player to win it in its 13-year history.
Yeah, I am very. It's an honour to win that award, and Basher Hooley won it this year. He played awesome, and with all the Indigenous players that have played in the Dreamtime game, I'm actually really surprised I'm the first one to win that award. I know Dusty's won it about 5 times. That's probably why it's hard to get the ball when he's got the ball all the time. So that's probably one of the strongest memories I'll have when football's all over, winning that award. So I know my parents and my family are really proud of that one.
Pretty good achievement. Damien Hardwick said you'll go down as one of the greats in the footy club. That's a pretty big praise.
Yeah, I don't know. He was pretty high on me when he said that. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, and I'm not really worried about what happens when I finish here or anything like that. And you don't really play for those reasons. You play for the moment and trying to win right now. And I know for my legacy, the strongest legacy I will be able to leave is winning a premiership. And if we can keep doing that and do that again, then that's going to be my goal. And Dimmer can say whatever he wants about me, but at the end of the day, if you win a premiership, you're going to be remembered longer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Is it true that you went into the 2017 Grand Final with a thumb so bad you couldn't hold a fork? It's a pity you didn't, because you could have put the fork into Adelaide 3/4 time, because they were done.
Yeah, I've been pretty harsh on Adelaide, but yeah, at the same time, yeah, it was a good game, and I actually broke my thumb in the prelim final, and I was actually very lucky that I only had to play one game with a sore thumb. And when it's the grand final, you don't really care about it. You're already excited and you're full of adrenaline. And yeah, I just got a little needle to numb the thumb, and it was fine. And the worst part about the whole thing was having to shake everyone's hand after the game, and it was really sore. That's about it, but I'm happy with that. I'll take that.
You were amazing in that grand final, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I don't think we had a player that didn't play great. We all played really well, and that's why we won.
Okay, so Tidge, you are out of contract this year, and your disposal numbers have never been higher. What's the scoop, Shane? Because your footy is far from finished.
Well, I'm not sure. I'll have to go talk to the board in there. I've been playing a bit of halfback this year, and it's a lot easier to get the ball there. So I've been pretty lucky. I get to take a few kick-outs to boost my stats. But yeah, I suppose if you just keep playing your role, it doesn't really matter how many possessions you get, as long as the team wins. So I'd rather get less possessions and have the team win than get lots of possessions and keep losing. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Pretty good. Okay, a couple of quick ones on your team, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Liam Baker is on 9 goals. Does he celebrate his Baker's dozen at 12 or 13?
I'm going to steal that, and I'm actually going to use it, and everyone's going to think I'm really funny, so I'm glad you've asked me that one. Liam Baker, I don't know, he's a good player, but he's been moved to defence now, so he might not even get there.
Yeah. While on Liam Baker, he signed a contract extension, so that means Baker is making more dough now. That's good.
Yeah, he is, and he'll make a lot of dough over his career. He's a good player.
Isn't it a little suspicious that Alex Rance is expected back straight after the Milan fashion show? How are those catwalks on his knee anyway?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? He's probably too big for a catwalk at the moment. Because he hasn't been able to run. He's so big right now. So he might actually tip over on the catwalk, and that might actually injure him some more.
Yeah, it might. And Sydney Stack, what a player. Is this the first time you're actually happy to have a Stack?
Yeah, he's an absolute gun. He's probably the best 18-year-old I've ever seen. So it's unbelievable. I don't know what he's going to be like when he's 25. Could be the best player in the AFL. That'll be interesting.
He's a pretty good player. Well, okay, Shane, you are a legend, and in my humble opinion, are a Monty to chalk up. 300 games and be a Hall of Famer. You're not only an exciting and terrific player, but also an amazing role model, not only for Indigenous young people, but to all of us. I love everything you do, except one. You are so humble, your celebration is lacking. Well, I'm here to help. Ready? When you kick a big goal, that's what you do. Try it one more time. Good.
Alright, well I just need to kick a goal now, and that's the hard part. So I promise you I'll do that if that happens.
Okay. Well, thank you, Shane, for chatting to me, and I can't wait to watch you get that 300 games under your belt.
Thank you for the interview.
No worries.